And in terms of like cash, can you give a range of how much you're getting paid?
It took me less than a month to get a job.
And how was the process of getting a developer job for you?
Really, the hardest part about becoming a developer is getting your feet.
Jacob, you are a developer now. Congratulations. Tell me about yourself. This is the best
Yeah.
I came up with.
Uh, Congratulations. So great, so great. Yeah. So obviously, you know me. But so around like towards the end of last year, I was looking for help. I couldn't figure out how to like get a job as a developer. I had a shit ton of experience, but I could not like figure out how to actually get from just having experience to actually having
Commercial experience or like to
my
YouTube
experience
YouTube
was a
experience.
combination of no, my combination was a sorry, my experience was a combination of both freelancing and contribution to open source projects.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So I had a fairly impressive like portfolio and resume, especially for someone who hadn't actually been properly employed.
Mhm.
But um, I couldn't figure out how to get from employing myself to having someone else employ me.
Why?
And
Why was that?
I just didn't know where to start, to be honest. It's just like there's so many freaking videos and all that stuff on YouTube, and they all a lot of them just lead nowhere.
Mhm.
Um,
Can you give an
so
example of that dead end road that you uh
so I was building just a bunch of random side projects, trying to hone my skills and get better. But whilst I was getting better at all these skills and like I was definitely improving as a developer, it wasn't getting me anywhere career wise, which is obviously what I wanted. And it's hard finding paths, like videos and resources on YouTube on how to get a job as a developer. A lot of them tend to go into very extensive guides on how to self-employ, but I wasn't really looking for self-employment at that time. I
uh
obviously I could freelance and I was making some money that way, but
you wanted a
when
job?
it came to yeah, I wanted a job. I wanted something stable.
Hmm. Okay. And then you found me on YouTube, or where did my face appeared?
YouTube.
And when you saw the YouTube video, like what do you think? Like what made you like say, okay, let me try out this guy? Yeah, what was the thought process? I'm always curious to see like what you guys think before you join.
Well, you definitely have those clickbaity type of thumbnails, and I'm sure you know
Man,
that.
I'm
But
trying. Well, I'm really trying, but I haven't managed to make them so clickbaity that I get 100,000 views. You know, just 1,000 views or whatever. So I still need to work on that. But anyway, yeah.
So the reason that drew me to your course is obviously, it does cost something, and anything of value should cost something. Otherwise, because like if people offer things for free, usually it's like, oh,
Mhm.
probably something wrong with this, or there's a catch. But not only was your thing costing money, you also had like a money back guarantee. So I was like, okay, if I'm gonna put all this effort into doing this guy's course and it turns out to be absolute trash, at least I get my money back. So I was like, oh, I have nothing to lose. I'll try this course.
Okay.
That's sort of why I went with you, because like it gave that sort of covenant of trust. I was like, okay, I can, trust this guy. He wouldn't be offering a money back guarantee if he didn't actually have confidence in his own course.
And okay, then how long it took you from starting the program till getting a job? How many months? Do you remember?
I think it
Four,
was like
five?
3 or 4.
Okay.
I
And
definitely went off the radar for a little bit because my meds ran out and there was a global shortage of my meds. But
and but and how was the process of getting a developer job for you?
I wouldn't say difficult. I would definitely say it's tedious, and you got to get used to like a little bit of rejection.
Hmm.
But I had one of my previous jobs was one of those annoying people in shopping centers that try to get you to donate to charity. So I'm more than used to having people just tell me to no or to,
Bro, this is
fuck off.
such a good job to get, you know?
So
Or like knocking on
that practice
doors.
just like going up to random people, even though they want nothing to do with you, like you sort of got to adopt that mentality. And it took me, when I actually started job searching after like doing your program and you like went over the sort of skills as a developer and all that sort of shit. It took me less than a month to get a job. like less than a month. And that's because every single day I was doing a minimum of 20 job applications. So over the course of a month, that's what 7 times 20 is 140 times
You know,
4 is
like
like
someone would
500, like about 600 job applications a month.
someone would hear this number and be like, "What? 600 job applications? This is not worth it. This is criminal." I'm like, "Bro, it's just a fucking click. You are
It took me
you
like
are
30
clicking
to
more.
45 minutes a
You are
day.
you are clicking more till you find the right video to watch, on the hidden website. Then like what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like it's not that hard. It's just press. It's fucking annoying. There is no dopamine after you like click the button. There's nothing interesting happening, but it's just a click of a button. You are pressing. There should be an app that tells you how many times are you clicking on a mouse while you have your computer on, and probably have like
I'm
thousands
sure there's like something.
yeah, you have like probably thousands of clicks a day. Just dedicate 100 of those thousands towards getting paid, I think. Anyway,
So it took me about 45 minutes a day, which is not that long. And I had several macros set up with Tamper Monkey. So then it was like keeping track of what I was doing. It also would also make it so I wasn't applying to the same job multiple times.
uh-huh,
So it was like scanning the page and doing all that shit. I
uh-huh.
don't know if I still have the scripts available to give you, but I was using that on both Seek and LinkedIn to find myself jobs.
Hmm.
I also used LinkedIn Premium, so then I could DM recruiters directly. And
And what do you think made the difference between now getting the job versus you trying by yourself like a billion
I think
times?
the main difference was just direction. Like I was essentially a loaded gun. I just needed somewhere to point and shoot.
And the resume with the experience, how was that?
So my resume was a bit lackluster. You did provide in your course some tips on how to, enhance it to make it look good.
Mhm.
And like that definitely helps because obviously I was like, I had a lot of experience, but there were a lot of things that I just didn't consider as experience or consider to put on my resume.
Like
And
what?
your course, like a lot of some projects I have worked on in the past, or like the listings of projects I've actually contributed to online, which again is open source. So like you can actually see my contributions and it's in that like code
Hmm.
until it gets outdated. Um, so there were these things, and I was like, oh, that only took me like not that long. Do I really need to put in the resume? So I have like now with my resume, I have a couple things that are only there for a couple of months, but at least it's better than nothing.
Okay. And in terms of like cash, can you give a range of how much you're getting paid?
Around 70K USD
Uh-huh.
was the starting salary for it.
Is that a good salary in Australia?
It's so for a developer, not a junior developer, just a regular mid-level developer.
Hmm.
It's slightly below average, but again, this is like my first employment in like the software development community. Junior dev would make around 58K USD.
Hmm.
So I'm making well above a junior.
So you are like,
And like I'm more of a
early.
mid-level engineer.
That's good, bro. Okay. And can you now can you now afford moving to Bali?
Uh, there's not much internet out in Bali, man.
What's your intention now that you are a developer, like a certified one? I guess when you get a job, you're a certified developer. Like, what's your intention? Like, what do you want to do with your life? Like, how do you feel about it now that you have this career? Like, you know, not sorted, but you started it and now you can grow into it. Like, how do you feel
Well, I
about
was in the developer recruiting stage for like a long time, and I found that but definitely the hardest part about becoming a developer is getting your foot in the door. So now that I've finally done that, now like I can actually have some like actual career progression. Like all of my, I have had a lot of other jobs, and they weren't really jobs that I ever saw going anywhere. But obviously, as a developer, that's like the
like
sky's the limit.
what were you doing? Bartending?
Uh, so
What?
I was a bartender, a real estate agent, personal trainer, swimming
You're
teacher.
like, bro, you're like
Uh,
Johnny Sins.
Uh,
You're like Johnny
I
Sins of Australia.
I wanted to become a firefighter, but they only do recruiting in like my state for firefighters like once every like 2 to 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And like by the time I decided to actually become one, it was like right after they did it. I think it was also a
Uh-huh.
lifeguard. What else? I've done a lot of things.
And
Um,
do you like being a developer more than lifeguard or like what's the
lifeguard is boring, bro. You sit there.
like nobody
But
dies.
like when you're a developer, you sit there, but you still look, you
No,
get to look at, you get to make code.
nobody
And the
dies
chair's
anymore,
what
bro.
the chair is a lot comfier too.
Okay, okay, okay. Um,
Sometimes
and
I lie in bed with my laptop and watch Netflix.
I
It's
want
very
to give you
good.
some props, bro, because you're um so we also have the team project, right? Let's not give the name away because I don't want to dox it because that's like our secret weapon.
Whoa.
But basically, the project that we have is gonna serve as work experience on your resume, whoever is watching this, and that's gonna allow you to break into the industry way easier than if you just go to a boot camp or if you're self-taught, right? And now you've been leading that for a while, and the reason why I let you lead that for a while is because I don't really believe in talent, but I definitely saw that you are really good at this. Like, not not only really good, but you really like it, you know? So I appreciate you for that. Thank you very much. You really took a lot of work off my plate. Like the project is looking way better right now. It's way more organized.
To be fair, that was a very low bar, Chris.
Sorry?
That was a very low bar.
Yeah, I know, but my intention wasn't to
Oh,
make it like a real product, but you want to make it, you want to monetize it right now.
yeah. I was like, I came in. I was like, if I'm spending this much time on it, this thing better get to production. A lot of things have got to change,
My
and
my
now it actually
intention,
looks
my
like it might
intention,
get there.
my intention was it was just to give people like work so they can figure out how, the processes work at a higher level, you know. But like whenever I join the meetings and whenever I see what's happening in there, like I feel like at work, you know. So how how do you feel about running the project right now? Because you're some sort of leader right now, team lead, I guess. How does that how do you feel about that?
I definitely enjoy running the project. Like it is essentially it's a startup, and the fact that I'm able to say I'm in charge and I'm running a startup is obviously very impressive on my resume. And as you mentioned, I do want to make it monetized.
Hmm.
Like it definitely has potential. And given the progress we've made in the past like 6 months
Months.
since I started there,
Hmm.
I think we should be able to like get it out in like a year. Um, and by that point, it will be a fully stable app. And in regards to actually leading and managing, getting this new job that like obviously Developer Pro helped me get, I was able to learn a lot more about how companies run. So since then, I've actually implemented an agile workflow within the project.
Hmm.
And now progress is going significantly faster. We're like doing sprints, reviews, we're able to have sessions where we collaborate on like what we think can be changed and all sort of things like that. And a lot of it is inspiration from what I learned at my new workplace.
Yep.
Like I have a new workplace, obviously. It's my first like employed job, so I do feel a lot out of my depth sometimes, but the developers there are always willing to lend a helping hand.
The cool thing about like monetizing this project is that all of you are developers and this is a tool for developers. So basically we can tell our previous students to pitch the tool in their company. So then we can properly monetize it because we have like an internal way of like selling it, you know?
Yeah. And like since it's a tool for developers, that means us within the actual project are using the app ourselves and we're able to find all I think we only managed to start using it properly like a month ago
Mhm.
because there were a lot of bugs and we finally got it all fixed and it's all stable now. And we're finally able to start using it. And we went from having like 5 tickets in that sprint and now we have, if I can actually check, We have like a lot more.
What does ticket mean for whoever is watching this and doesn't understand it?
Sorry, when I say ticket, I mean like a issue or something we have to create or fix.
Okay.
So basically you've got a list of tasks you have to complete in a workplace, you get a list of tasks that you have to complete. Like these are your goals to do by the end of the week or the end of the fortnight or the end of the month.
Mhm.
And they're usually presented in the form of tickets. So we're like, we create this ticket. That's how we know it has to be done. That way, when you find something and you write it down, you're not going to forget it, and then it just never ends up getting solved. Like when you create an issue on GitHub.
Yeah. It's like whenever you have, it's like a to-do list. It's like whenever you have a problem, you note the problem down and then you can pick it up later.
Yeah,
Okay.
so our application is a task management application, and a ticket is just us creating a task.
Okay. And who would you recommend this program for? Like, who do you think is the right fit for this program, in your opinion?
Well, I can only really give it from my standpoint and also the getting done. So
Of
from
course.
my standpoint, it was I had the skills necessary, but I just didn't know how to use them to get a job,
Mhm.
and that's definitely what I used your program for. But I also know that you get a bunch of people in that have never programmed before. Um, I know because I've trained half of them after they get to the project.
Mhm.
So obviously if you're new to like programming, it's obviously really good if you manage to get to work on this startup because you manage to work with like a lot of engineers that can help you greatly elevate your skills. Like there are a lot of people in this project that I remember starting and they weren't like obviously that proficient at programming and like there was a lot of messy code being written. But because we're able to help each other, we're all able to become better programmers.
Yeah, it's like the tide raises all ships. I think that's the saying, right? You don't know?
Never heard it.
It's a saying. So basically, all the ships are,
Well,
down, but then the tide raises all the ships, you know?
I mean,
So
it makes sense, but I've just never heard of it.
yeah, yeah. So basically, the way it works is if you're a noob, I'm gonna get you to a certain level. And then from that level, when you finish all the applications that you have to build, you'll join the team project. And then there is a standard over there, which is as close as possible to the real world. And then you will be raised to that level of the real world. Then you use the team project, that's how we call it, as work experience on your resume, and then you get paid. That's that's
Yeah.
that's how it works.
That's
It's
why
as simple as
PRs are
that.
so important to know how to do is because obviously we are very like when we review PRs, we can be very brutal. I think this one person like he left Squared for a while before I actually started running it and then he came back and he created a project. I think I like his first PR, I ended up making like I think it was something around the lines of like 40 comments on it,
Mhm.
like all full of just like things he had to like change to actually follow the structure and theme of the project, which just goes to show like how much the quality of code has increased. I remember when I joined, most of the code was written in JavaScript,
No, it's that.
but now it's entirely typed, which is like awesome.
Thing is, I think for the next person that has to join the team project, I'm gonna bring them in my own SaaS because I'm also building my own SaaS, and I need someone to
What the hell, Christian?
do the dirty work for me. I just want to do the like conceptual work, but I need someone to do the, like write the code, do it in this way, take
Yeah,
care of
you got
all the
V0.
errors, write
You
the
got V0,
test.
bro. Just use bolt.new. You'll be fine.
So basically, bro, you are like you really like coding. You're not
Oh
just
yeah, I love it. That like one of the main reasons that stopped me from actually job searching, like when I'm sure you know in like 2020, 2021, the job market for programmers was like huge. You could easily get a job as a programmer like
yeah.
around those years. I wasn't looking for a job as a programmer because I was like, what if I start programming for a job and then I start hating it?
Uh-huh.
And now I'm just a workaholic, which is entirely the opposite.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I had for me I think when I got my job, I wanted to progress faster because I don't like the idea of like every year you get 5% or 10% more, 20% more. I just that thing never resonated with me since I was a child, I wanted to figure out a way to make as much money as I can based on my abilities, not based on my years of experience, you know? And if you like the way I see yourself is like, or the way I see you is like you have a job, you make your salary and whatever, and then you work on this project, which can definitely 10x, 30x your efforts in like 6, 12 months from now, you know? That's how I understand the way you are thinking. Is that correct? Or
Yeah, so I'm working on it, and hopefully eventually I'm able to, get it to the point where it's on production and I can actually get it making money. And hopefully by that point it'll actually start, paying off with all my effort because obviously I put a lot of time into the project, which is like kind of evident, like you can see.
if you have anything else to say it now or be silent forever.
Um, nah, nothing else for this interview. Though, if you have some extra like time just outside of the interview, we can have another meeting about the project.
Yeah, you wanna do it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Discord.
Send me. Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Bye, guys. Bye,
Bye.
Jacob.